Alright, so here we're going to be graphing equations and also writing them in a new format. So recall our format, which is the last one that we talked about. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So for example number 1, they already gave it to us in slope-intercept form, so that's a lot easier. So our slope is 1/4, and then our y-intercept is -3. All right, and you're going to label these. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to start off with your y-intercept. So that's at -3. And then remember, your slope is also rise over run. So you always do the rise first, and it says rise 1. So you're going to go up 1, and then you run 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where your next point is. And then you do that, you could do that again. You go up 1 and over 4. So that's your next point. Then you could kind of see the pattern. You could kind of go in the opposite direction. So you would go down 1 and over 4 in the left. And then you want to use a ruler and connect those. All right, and that would be your line. Okay, next they gave you 2x plus 3y equals 12. So notice this time they didn't give it to you in slope-intercept form. So we're going to isolate the y here. So I'm going to subtract 2x, and I'm going to get 3y equals 12 minus 2x. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 3, and I get y equals 4 minus 2 over 3x. So my slope is -2 over 3, and my y-intercept is 4. All right, again, you're going to start with your y-intercept, so that's at 4 this time. And then, remember, this is rise over run. So you're going to rise 2 down, and then you're going to run 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So there's my point, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. And then you could go ahead and connect those with the ruler. And there is your line. So notice you have negative slope, and it's going in that like negative slope direction. All right, the next we're going to start writing equations. So write an equation of the line with the y-intercept 0, -3, so that's our b, and slope of 1/4. So we're going to write it in mx plus b, and so that's just going to be y equals 1/4 x minus 3. And that would be my equation in slope-intercept form. So the new format that we have is point-slope form. So that's going to be this one, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1, where your coordinates are the x1 and the y1. So usually they're going to give you some coordinate, which is a point, and the slope, which is your m. And then the ones that you never plug in is your y and your x. You always leave those as y and x. So example number 4 says, find the equation of the line with slope -3 containing the point 1, -5. Write the equation in slope-intercept form and point-slope form. So we're always going to start off with point-slope form and then convert it into slope-intercept form, since we kind of know how to do that already. So again, this is your m, and then your point would be your x1, y1. So I'm going to write down the point slope form. And then I'm basically going to plug in what I know. I know m, and I know the point. And notice that the 5, since I would plug in a 5 in here, it was a negative times a negative, so it turns into a positive. All right, so that's my first answer. That's in point slope form. And then I have to convert it into slope intercept form. So I'm just going to rewrite it over here. So what you're going to do is, this is isolating the y. So you're going to distribute the negative 3x plus 3, and then now you have to isolate the y, so subtract the 5 over to the other side. And there you go. There's your slope intercept form. All right, here is another one. We're given 2 points and we're asked to write it in point slope form and slope intercept. So I have a point, but I don't have a slope. So this goes back to the other section that we had. We have to use our y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 to find the slope. So x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to go ahead and plug it in. So negative 5 minus 4, negative 4 minus 0. We get negative 5 minus 4. That's a negative times a negative. So when you have a negative minus a negative, you add them up and you keep the negative. All right. Then I get negative 4 on the bottom. Then I have a negative divided by a negative. So that's going to give you positive 9 over 4. All right, so now I have the slope and I have a point. I'm going to use this point right here. So my slope intercept form is going to be y minus 0 equals the slope 9 over 4 and x minus 4. So that's my first answer. All right, then my second answer, I'm going to rewrite it over here. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 9 over 4, and then y minus 0, that's just y. So 9 times 4 divided by 4. The 4s are going to cancel each other out, and we get y equals 9 over 4x minus 9. So that would be our answer. All right, and next we have a picture of a line, and we're going to go ahead and write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So I rewrote y equals mx plus b here, so we're going to have to find m and b and then plug that in. So b is your y-intercept. So if we look at the picture, your y-intercept is 1. So b is equal to 1. And then remember, your slope is equal to rise over run. So we're going to go ahead and find 2 points. So we already have the y-intercept. And then here's another point that lies on the corner of a rectangle. So that's a perfect point. So now you're going to go, you rise 2 and you run 2. So you could simplify that to 1. And then just double checking, remember, this is going up. Think about as going up a roller coaster, so it should have positive slope. So it should be positive 1. So our answer is going to be x plus 1. And that would be it.